Welcome to the premiere of WCTV's show, Money Matters. Thank you for joining us. My name is Deb Enright, and I get to serve the Williamson County Schools as the first district grant writer. We'll explain what that means a little bit later in the show. We're excited to bring Money Matters to you. Now, just so you know, I've never done this before. I've been on the other side of the camera, and I've also been a guest. But thanks to the experts here at WCTV, they've made me feel really comfortable putting together a show that hopes to inform you about finding alternative sources of funding for our schools, to give our kids an even better education experience than maybe we ever could have dreamed of. We're moving in a new direction. With 42 schools within our district, there are many opportunities to create a variety of unique community partnerships to strengthen our schools and serve the interests of our students in and out of the classroom. And this program, Money Matters, plans to tell you the stories of these partnerships, the ones happening right now between schools and parents, our alumni, small businesses, corporations, and foundations, as well as those we look forward to create. So sit back, get ready to learn, and we'll find out together why money matters. After this break, we will be back to talk with Director of Schools, Dr. Mike Looney.
When sharing the road, reaction time is important. Motorists should reduce their speed and avoid tailgating, especially in bad weather. Cyclists have the same rights and responsibilities as motorists. They should travel in the same direction on the right hand of the road and obey all traffic signals. Observing these rules provides predictability for both motorists and cyclists. Remember, same roads, same rules, same rights.
Welcome back to Money Matters. My debut guest is none other than the educator who's responsible for giving the best to our students, Dr. Mike Looney. Welcome, Dr. Looney. Thank you for coming today.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I'm looking forward to this segment, being on Channel 3 and informing the community and the public about some of the important work that we do here in Williamson County.
I think we have a great opportunity here. Just so we start at the beginning, would you talk to us about this strategic plan we keep hearing about, kind of what it's intended to do, who put it together, and maybe some parts of it that are really interesting for us to know about?
Sure. Well, I guess it's been almost 3 years ago now when the board charged me with facilitating a process that allowed the community to give input about the vision and the direction of the school system. We've always had the luxury of being a high-performing school district, but we felt like we had a lack of focus. And so the board and the community got together and participated in numerous meetings throughout the community and talked about what we're doing as a school system, what we aspire to be, and where we want to be in the future. And so as a result of those community input sessions, we developed a roadmap, a blueprint to tell us where we want to go and how we want to get there, and establish mile markers along the path to hold us accountable for our results, and to give the community updates on a regular basis about those items that they said is important to them.
So this is really much more about doing things for the district in ways other than just getting high test scores and showing growth. This is about preparing the district for innovation and new things in the classroom. Right. So who put this together?
Well, ultimately the staff did the labor part of it as far as putting the product together, but the board voted on it. They had a lot of debate about very specific items in the strategic plan as a result of the community's input. And so we put the roadmap together and we report to the board on a regular basis, but it really is a process about being focused about the work. It's not just about test scores. It is about test scores, but not just about test scores. It's about us reaching the whole child, making sure that we're increasing academic expectations as well as artistic approaches to curriculum and instruction, and expanding the athletic participation in our students. So we're really focused in Williamson County, I think in a very positive way, on the whole child, bringing balance to the teaching and learning process in Williamson County schools.
Well, I also love, honestly, that one of the takeaways, and I think it's intentional, but one of the takeaways from the strategic plan is to become a national model of academics, the arts, and athletics.
Right.
And I think that, I mean, that's a great goal to go towards, and it sounds like the strategic plan, as you've just said, provides that roadmap for us to go down to achieve that goal. So what are some of the parts of the strategic plan that at least sit as on the hot plate of things that need to be focused on in 2012?
Well, there are many aspects to the strategic plan that are important, one of which is, as you know, is foreign language. We're working on developing a curriculum for Spanish and Chinese to be introduced to the boys and girls of Williamson County in the very near future, so that when they graduate from Williamson County schools, not only are they competent and fluent in English, but they're also competent and fluent in a second language. We know that as the world continues to evolve and we have to compete globally, it's important for our graduates in Williamson County to be competitive not only on a national scale but on a global scale. We also have introduced, as part of our strategic plan, Bring Your Own Technology initiative, so that kids can be empowered in their learning process through the use of technology, and not necessarily just the district's technology, but they're also their technology. We're also focused on implementing an alternative funding source so that we can save the taxpayers money, but at the same time provide for the many important needs that we have here in the district. So lots of different components to the strategic plan. It's available online. We give monthly updates to the board on our progress, and I'm really excited. It's nice to be focused on the work and clearly know what it is that we're supposed to be working on, rather than just coming to work and working hard every day. Mm-hmm. We're working hard with a purpose now. We know what the goal is, and that is to become nationally recognized. The board said very clearly, the community said very clearly, good is not good enough. We want to be great. We want to be recognized on a national scale for being a great school system.
Well, so talk to me about the alternative funding source, because that's kind of near and dear to my heart.
Right.
Okay, we're #1 in the state. So what's missing? Why do we need, first of all, let's define what alternative funding sources include.
Sure.
But if you'd also answer why. It's working. Obviously it's working. What's missing?
Right. Well, certainly academically our work is working, and we're producing college-ready graduates. We have a lot to be proud of in Williamson County schools. But once again, that's just one sliver, that's just one portion of what we believe the work is. And unfortunately in Tennessee, we have a funding mechanism that essentially penalizes school districts that happen to do business in a wealthy community such as Williamson County. And so what happens at the state level is we are penalized financially because we have the ability to pay more locally for all of the schooling process. And so in Williamson County, that manifests itself to the tune of losing about $4,000 a student when we compare ourselves to, as an example, Nashville Metro or Franklin Special School District. We're collecting and receiving about $8,000 per pupil, and many other school districts in the state are in the $12,000 range. And so while we can do the basics, we can certainly teach kids to read, write, and do basic mathematics. What we can't do, unfortunately, is make sure that we have world-class arts programs and musical programs and athletic programs and providing busing for students on field trips and that sort of thing. So there are so many other components that go into making sure that we have adequate funding for the boys and girls in Williamson County that we can't do it in traditional methods. And so we're looking for all kinds, whether it's writing grants, which you're very familiar with now, or asking people down the street, can you give $1,000 to the boys and girls? Any alternative way, any unique idea that we have, whether it's advertising in our school system or just asking for donations to make Williamson County schools be all that it can be. for the boys and girls and for this community.
So there'll be a variety of folks you'll go to or see if they want to create partnerships. So I would think that would be just any citizen, right? You're looking, I would think, to go beyond the families who are in the schools?
Absolutely. I truly believe that the success of Williamson County Schools is completely dependent on the community support, and not just in tax dollars, but also in time and personal giving and corporate giving. You know, our families give, the families that have kids in our school district now, they're paying PTO fees and they're writing checks to go on field trips and that sort of thing. So they really are giving more than their fair share. And the truth is that citizens on the whole receive a great benefit from having good schools. And we need those individuals and our corporate citizens to contribute to the school system as well, so that we really can focus on the goal that the community has charged us with, which is becoming nationally recognized.
So spell some of, describe your vision a bit. What do you see these alternative funding sources giving us the chance to do that the traditional budget doesn't allow us to do? You've mentioned school buses, we've mentioned the foreign language, we've also mentioned community participation. So is that kind of what this alternative funding, or maybe this community partnership portion of the strategic plan, will allow us to do?
Well, I think at this point in time it's really open to a lot of opportunities and fresh ideas. My ideas may be different than somebody else's ideas. What I see it doing is rounding out the whole, filling in the gaps that we currently have in the funding mechanism for Williamson County Schools. You know, I was tweeting the other day asking for people to donate used band instruments because we had schools that didn't have enough instruments. I was having a discussion today about buying new lunchroom tables for a school, recognizing that we really don't have a mechanism to simply buy lunchroom tables for our schools. You know, technology is such an evolving thing, whether it's, you know, buying laptops or Kindles or iPads for students so that they can do their work digitally. There are so many needs that we have as a school community that I think can be met in non-traditional ways, and that's one of your charges, as you know, is to help us think of new creative ways to do that kind of work.
Well, this has been wonderful. I think what I like about the direction that you certainly have given me and what the strategic plan asks of you is for us to be almost entrepreneurial minded in terms of how we see that things can move and how we can continue to offer even more exciting, innovative opportunities to our kids and our school community. Dr. Looney, thank you so much for being my first guest. This is so exciting. It's really a pleasure to be in the district, and I appreciate the opportunity you've given me, and I look forward to other conversations with you as we become smarter about what this is all about, and you can come back and maybe tell us of all the good things that are happening.
Well, we're glad you're on board. We look forward to learning from you as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment with our next guest, Mr. Rick Wimberly.
Hi, I'm Vince Gill. Did you know that car accidents are the #1 cause of death in young people ages 16 to 20? As alarming as that is, there's something we can do about it. If you just take a simple pledge, it'll help keep your families and your friends safer while you're out on the road. I pledge to wear my seatbelt every time I ride in a vehicle and make sure that others in my vehicle are protected as well. Well, that's it. Come on and join the thousands that have already taken this pledge. Don't be a statistic, be the clique.
Welcome back. This is Money Matters, and I'm very excited to introduce to you someone who I met, I don't know, maybe the first week I was here, Mr. Rick Wimberly, who is a school board member and now has taken on the added responsibility of chairing the steering committee for our Education Foundation, which we are creating as part of this strategic plan implementation. So Rick, welcome to Money Matters.
Thank you, Deb. I'm delighted to be here.
You're very kind to say yes. And I think I want to just say first, it shows the wealth of the community to have folks like you so involved. Would you talk a little bit about why you're on the school board and really kind of what you hope to accomplish in that form of leadership?
Sure. Well, you know, my story is very similar to so many people in the community. moved to Middle Tennessee for work, and we immediately started shopping for schools and churches for our young kids. And invariably, when you do that, you're led to Williamson County. Kathy and I came in one day, and we went to the old Grassland Elementary School. And someone had said that was a cool school. Well, it was a shabby school, let's say that. This was 30 years ago. And when we walked in, hardly anybody in there but a janitor. And this janitor showed us around that school with so much enthusiasm that we thought we'd come back. And when we did, we were just, as shabby as that school was, we were just blown away by it and thought that would be a good home for our kids. And it was. And I think that's a similar story to many people in the county. This county is very fortunate that it attracts people who have young kids and people who are serious about their kids' education.
So tell me about the school board. Did you just one day go, yeah, man, I want to be on that organization?
No, one day my dad said, Rick, you ought to be on the school board.
Okay.
My dad was an educator. He was a school superintendent down in Georgia.
Okay.
His dad was one of the first members of the school board in the little county where I grew up. And his dad ran for Congress on a ticket that had the audacity to suggest that the states should help support education. Of course, this was 3 generations ago. But he planted the seed before he died, probably 25 years ago. And it's something that had always been in the back of my head. And now all of our kids are grown. I've been involved in the schools throughout that time, but I have more time now. And so when it was suggested to me, I started thinking, what could I really bring to the table? And what attracted me and what I thought I could do was really the strategic plan that Dr. Looney mentioned and that so many people in the community helped put together. I'm not an educator, I'm a businessman. And one thing that you always look for out of a business is, does the company have a good strategic plan? And almost more importantly, are they really following it? So when I read the strategic plan, I thought, okay, this is cool. This is something that I can understand, and have been just delightfully surprised at the amount of focus that the people in this community place on this strategic plan. And I would encourage those who haven't read it to go online and read it. It's an easy read. It's only a few pages, but it says an awful lot.
Now, one part of the strategic plan is this thing called alternative funding sources, which we've chatted a little bit with Dr. Looney about. And I'd like to focus our conversation on the creation of this education foundation. So could you briefly help us understand what an education foundation is?
Sure. To give you a little bit of history, within the strategic plan, it clearly says to seek alternative sources of funding. And then the next level down, the implementation plan said that by the year, I forget exactly what it was, but it was like 2015, that the school board would help get an education foundation started. And the people on the school board and Dr. Looney were looking at this down the road and thinking that, you know, why would we wait until then? So a steering committee was created, and I'm the school board representative on the steering committee. The steering committee is made up of a tremendous diversity of the community, just a really impressive group, strong credentials. We've got county commission member, we've got city alderman, we have a judge, we have people who have worked in other foundations. We have who I think is the best salesman I've ever met on it, and it's just you know, we've got 2 former school board members, Susan Graham and Janine Moore, who were superb school board members, and so we've just come together and started doing the initial work for the foundation. I mean, we envision it to be, it's not a foundation of the school system, but a foundation of the community that would be established to support the foundation.
That's exciting. So sometimes when I think of foundation, I think of Bill Gates Foundation or the Rockefeller Foundation.
Do you have their numbers, by the way?
I actually do. I'll share them
okay,
after.
Good, good.
Or the Kellogg Foundation. And what I know about that is we seek money from them. So if we're calling this an education foundation, and those seem to be, they fund themselves. So can you just help us understand the difference between those kinds of foundations and then what we're doing?
Well, first of all, we don't have Bill Gates to help us fund this. So we're going to need to raise this money from within our community in a variety of ways. And you know, one of the things that we're in the process of doing now as a steering committee is coming up with a mission statement for the foundation, and then start seeking board members for the foundation. And then that board will, you know, with a lot of input from donors, from the community, and some input from the school system, will start putting together projects and fundraising activities, things of that nature.
Well, this sounds like a great partnership, but it sounds like the potential for a ton of fun as well.
Well, it's interesting, when we had the initial steering committee meeting, members were introducing themselves, and to a one, everyone said, you know, of course they expressed a lot of passion for what we're doing, but they all said the timing is right for this. I mean, we're in a period where we've been celebrating our test scores, but I think there is a realization within the community that, you know, test scores are something we need to strive for, and we're real proud of what we've done there, but that's just the beginning. That as Dr. Looney said, we want that whole education experience. In fact, I've noticed as I've been talking to people in the community these last few months, they're pretty quick to say, yes, we're proud of test scores, but what else are you doing for my kids in this county?
So what I understand, or I think I understand, because I really appreciate that kind of broad vision that you're giving to this organization and to this initiative. This isn't a gap filler. This isn't, we didn't get this in the budget, so can you guys go out and get some dough and we'll be able then to kind of fill that line item. What I sense from you, and in the time we have left, if you could just articulate kind of, it's bigger.
There's no doubt about it. I mean, go back to what the parents are saying, you know, what are you going to do for that whole education experience for my kids? We hope that the foundation can help do those things that help make for better future citizens. You know, those things that really stir, you know, passion. I mean, we're all excited about test scores, but what about the other things that help build a stronger student, a stronger community, you know, in the arts and athletics and in so many ways like that. So yes, we're thinking big.
That's exciting. So how could a citizen get involved? Or is it time yet for that? Or when do you think you'll launch? So if somebody's out there going, well, that sounds fantastic, what can I do?
Well, I think the thing for them to do now is, for now, they can contact me, and my email address and phone number are all on the county websites, and I will direct them to the appropriate people. But we're hoping that within the coming months to have an announcement where we have actually formed the foundation. We're still a steering committee now, and then you can be assured that we will do everything we possibly can to let people know how they can participate, not only with their money, but also with their time. We think it can be a great rallying point for gathering and utilizing the wonderful resources that the people in this community offer.
Well, it sounds like just a great adventure that you are helping to steer.
Well, there are a lot of people steering it, and it is an adventure.
I'm sure. Well, promise to come back.
Please.
And give updates and let us know exactly how we can get involved when things get farther along. And really, thank you so much for showing us, you know, what it's like to take the bull by the horns and get things done. Because as I sit as a participant on that committee, I just really appreciate how much has happened so quickly when you think about how far away that foundation was slotted to begin, even in its formation. So I'm excited. I'm very excited to see what's going to happen. So
the steering committee is just deeply committed and doing a good job, and we're looking forward to spreading the good news soon.
Well, good. Rick, thank you so much for being on Money Matters.
Thank you, Deb.
We're going to be back after a quick break, so we'll see you very soon.
Where can I find out about the Venus flytrap?
Where can I research information on my business competitors?
What is the safety record on the car I want?
Where can I research careers?
Where?
I'm all shook up. The Tennessee Electronic Library. That's where. And it's free to everyone in our state. Now go to your public library and find out how you can log on and get your password to a world of information just for living in our state. Or you can probably even figure out the password just by listening to my voice.
I'm all shook up. And as we close, I want us to remember that we live and raise our children in a very special community. Williamson County citizens continue to demand the best from their schools. We hope we have met some of your expectations, but let's be honest. There are things we all hope to see in our schools that just aren't there yet. We must provide more with less, and our population is shifting to citizens whose kids are well out of the K-12 system and now must care after aging parents. We face real challenges. Williamson County schools are about innovation, and that takes resources. Keeping our schools on the cutting edge is a major undertaking for any school district. Our school board understood this challenge and wrote the remedy right into our strategic plan for one simple reason: to make us accountable to our current students and future generations to do more than just meet the minimum standards for operating a school district. Instead, the board wanted to encourage our school community to learn to dream about what school could be like and go after that for their kids. Why should an entire community, especially those no longer involved in the school system, even care about securing alternative funding for our schools? We do this because it's important to show younger generations that community membership comes with some responsibility, some ownership for issues that may not directly affect you, and because it's the right thing to do. Because families decades ago cared about your kids and created a superlative school system to provide the children of Williamson County an education that opened the world to them for years to come. Because it's our turn. It's our turn to secure the state-of-the-art science equipment needed for that budding scientist who will find a cure for cancer. Our turn to provide a performance space for the production that promising playwright created. Our turn to create gateways for the student encouraged by those classes in social studies to show that her voice counts and her actions will change the world. And our turn to support that student who may not learn like the rest of us, but will inspire all of us with his tenacious desire to make his mark as a member of his class, his school, and his community. It's about dreams. It's about the future. It's about our community and our kids. And that's why money matters. My name is Deb Enright. Thank you for watching our debut show. Let us know what you think about what you saw, and we'll see you next time.